Frederick Douglass had known nothing but slavery his entire life. Born into bondage in Maryland, he spent his youth working under cruel masters. The sun beat down on his back as he toiled in the fields, his hands calloused from years of labor. He had seen the brutality of slavery firsthand: whippings, families torn apart, and constant fear. Yet, deep inside, the fire of liberty burned. He longed for freedom, even though he knew any attempt to escape could mean torture or death. By 1838, Douglass had carefully planned his escape. He had heard of enslaved men being captured while trying to flee, but he also knew of those who had succeeded. He studied their methods and learned that a free black sailor's pass, a document that identified a black man as legally free, was one of the best disguises. Through secret connections, he managed to borrow a sailor's pass and a set of clothes to match. He packed only what was necessary. He would have only one chance. If caught, he would be severely punished or sold further south, where escape would be nearly impossible. On the morning of September 3, 1838, Douglass's heart pounded as he stepped onto a train bound for the north. He adjusted his sailor's hat, trying to appear calm. The station was busy, filled with passengers and watchful eyes. Every moment felt like an eternity. He knew he would have to pass through checkpoints where slave catchers scrutinized every black traveler. A single suspicious glance could end his dream forever. He took a deep breath and found a seat, doing his best to blend in. As the train rattled down the tracks, Douglass felt a wave of fear. A conductor approached, his sharp eyes scanning the passengers. "Your papers?" the man asked, holding out his hand. Douglass carefully handed over the borrowed sailor's pass, his fingers steady despite the terror surging inside him. The conductor examined the document, then glanced at Douglass. Time seemed to freeze. "All right, move along," the conductor finally said, returning the papers. Douglass swallowed hard, suppressing his relief. The train lurched forward. He had passed the first test, but danger still loomed. Every stop was a potential trap. After a tense journey, Douglass finally arrived in New York City. He stepped onto the platform, his eyes scanning the unfamiliar streets. The city bustled with life. Carriages clattered over cobblestone roads, street vendors shouted their wares, and free black citizens walked without chains. It was overwhelming. He was free, but not yet safe. Slave catchers operated even in the North, and he needed allies. Douglass sought out the Underground Railroad, a secret network of abolitionists who helped escaped slaves. A kind white abolitionist, David Ruggles, welcomed him into his home. The room was small but warm, a sanctuary from the dangers outside. Douglass was given food and shelter, but he knew his journey wasn't over. He needed to secure a future for himself, and he longed for someone to share it with. A few days later, Douglass sent word to Anna Murray, a free black woman he loved. She came to New York, and they were reunited at last. Their embrace was filled with joy and relief. Soon after, they were married, beginning a new chapter in their lives. Together, they would build a life of freedom. Frederick Douglass was finally free, but he knew his journey was not over. He vowed to dedicate his life to helping others break the chains of slavery. Years later, he stood before a crowd, passionately speaking against the evils of slavery. His words ignited hope, inspiring thousands to seek their own freedom and fight for justice. His escape was not just a triumph for himself, it was a spark that would change history.